Hey everybody, this is Troy with Clark Bailey Studios, and today I wanted to share with you my top 10 tips for destination wedding photography. Now, this video is going to be focused more towards photographers because what I found out over the course of the last several years is that there were some things that always seemed to happen. Some of them were good, some of them were challenging, but yet they consistently seem to happen at every destination wedding. So hopefully after hearing these tips, they'll help you to have a more successful shoot the next time you're on location with your clients. Tip number one. Always remember to take a second set of clothes for the day of the actual wedding or event. This is important because your clients may want to take photos that may require you to get a little dirty, or if they may want to take some of those ocean photos that may require you to actually go out there with them, you want to get a little wet. But if you have photos to take right after that, you always want to make sure you can change it to a second set of clothes and be ready to continue on taking those amazing photographs. Tip number two, realize that besides family and close friends, you're the only person that they brought with them from home. So it's important to always do your homework, always do your preparation work, be ready to shoot when you get there, always remain professional, because the one thing you do not want to do is you don't want to give them an excuse. So it's very, very important to make sure that you realize that they've paid for you to be there, they want your services, they want you to do a great job, but it's up to you to make sure that you always remain professional and get the job done. Tip number three. Always protect the shoot. This is probably one of the most important tips that we're going to have in this video. When we travel for a destination wedding, not only do we have obviously the memory cards that we're going to use, we bring our laptop, we bring an external drive. Immediately following the wedding reception, I go straight to the hotel room, pull everything out, then I put a copy of the images on the laptop, I then put another copy on the external drive. Now I have 3 copies of the photos, the memory cards, the laptop, the external drive. Always, it's important to remember, bring enough memory cards to last the entire day. You don't want to overshoot your cards, meaning you don't want to use the same card twice. This is important to help you in case, so you won't make a mistake and think that you've already cleared a card when you haven't, or you don't want to lose any images from previous time throughout the day. So always remember, protect the shoot. When we leave the location and I head home, I always bring this with me. This is my memory card holder. This is either in my jacket pocket or it's in my pants pocket. I never put it in my check luggage. I never even put it in my carry-on luggage. I make sure it's on me at all times. If something happens to my gear, if it gets stolen, damaged, or whatever, I can replace that, but I cannot replace those images. So always remember, no matter what you do, protect the shoot. Tip number 4, be friendly and do what I call pro-mingle. The couple is going to have their family and close guests with them, like we said earlier. But it's very important. You want to mingle with them. You want to let them know who you are, let them know what you do, but you always want to remain professional. Okay? You always want to make sure that you are the professional that you were hired to be. The reason you want to make sure that you mingle with the guests there is because you're going to be there for a couple of days with them. But by the time the wedding gets there, they're going to already feel like they know you, and when you need for them to help you with photos, as far as, posing and different things like that, they're going to be extremely comfortable around you, and it's going to make for some incredible photos. So always remember to be friendly and mingle with the family and guests. Tip number 5, stay calm. Yes, it's a destination wedding. Yes, you're probably at a beautiful location, but the one thing that you cannot control is the weather. If it says it's going to be sunny with no clouds, prepare for the rain. Now, when you do this, you want to go out, you want to scout your locations, you want to see where you want to shoot the bride and groom. Always have a backup plan. What I've found, no matter, usually you're in the island wedding during the summer months, it can be clear, and 10 minutes later, the rain clouds will be there. If it starts raining, it's going to put a damper on things naturally. The bride may be a little upset, the groom may be a little upset because they want that day to be perfect. But if you can go to them and say, hey, no worries, I already planned for this. I have a second location or some other locations that we can use despite the rain. You'll come out looking like the hero and you'll still end up with some amazing photographs. Tip number 6, make sure you communicate as much as possible before you actually leave or before the couple actually leaves for the destination wedding. You want to make sure you discuss the timeline. Let them know, hey, look, I would like to have this amount of time immediately following the ceremony to make sure that we can get your photograph scheduled and have plenty of time to do that. Typically, the couple may not take a coordinator with them, so they're going to be relaying information to the hotel or the resort staff at this destination. So they need all the information leading up to it to make sure that their day is planned out accordingly. Sometimes they don't actually get to plan the day until they actually get there, and then they can lay everything out as far as timelines. So you want to make sure you get your information into them as soon as possible so it can all be a part of the master plan for the day. Tip number 7, make sure before you leave you get all the contact information that you need. Get contact information for the bride, the groom, any contact people that they may have over there. Get contact information for the resort and hotel, because you may need this information, and I don't know if 411 actually works when you're doing island locations and different things like that. So I always want to make sure that I have that information with me before I travel. Tip number 8, travel documents. Your itinerary, airline information, hotel information, transportation information. Print all of this stuff out before you leave. Never, ever, ever trust technology at a foreign location or a foreign country. You do not know that if you get there, you're going to be able to access your email or just the internet for that matter. So you want to always make sure you print out your documents, keep them on you at all times, make sure you travel with them. It's very important. It will save you a lot of headache in the situation where you didn't have that information printed. So always make sure that you have your travel documents printed and on you at all times so you're ready to go. Tip number 9, gear bag. When you're traveling, depending on if you're, because a domestic wedding in another state can be considered destination travel. So you want to make sure if you're getting on an airplane, no matter if you're doing something international or something domestic, that you check the size of your gear bags. Domestic flights and international flights have different rules. Typically, your carry-on bag for an international flight's got to be a little bit smaller than it has to be for a domestic flight. So always make sure that you're ready to go, you have the proper gear, because you want to make sure that if at all possible, you keep your gear on you at all times, including the airplane. Tip number 10, keep your camera gear temperature regulated. Now, I had to learn this the hard way, to be honest with you. What I mean by this is when you're shooting a wedding in a warm climate, the couple is going to be, it comes time to shoot those getting ready photos, the couple is going to be getting ready in a hotel room that's probably about 20 degrees cooler than it is outside. So say it's 90, 95 degrees outside and like 70, 75 degrees in their hotel room. When you walk into that room, what happens is your camera gear automatically starts cooling to that temperature of the room. No big deal while you're shooting, but the second you leave to go head out to the location where, say, the ceremony is going to be, your camera is exposed to the warmer temperature. Now your sensor starts fogging, your lenses start fogging. And you can sit there and get a cloth and wipe that lens as much as you want, but until it actually starts conforming or getting close to the same temperature as outside, it's going to fog right back up. So this is what I typically do. When I go to the hotel room to photograph the bride and groom getting ready, I'll take out one camera lens, one camera body, and one flash. The rest of my gear, I set it out on the balcony so it stays in that outside temperature. Now, it's immediately after the getting ready photos are done, I go outside, I already have another set of gear that's ready to go, so I don't have to wait for that to warm up, so I don't have the fogging issue. As you're going on about 15 or 20 minutes, into the ceremony, all the other gear you previously used is probably already at the right temperature and it's ready to go. So again, what you want to do is when you're shooting your getting ready shots, keep as much gear as possible in an outside temperature, usually on a balcony, to, so you won't have any of the fogging issues with the sensor and the lenses. This will help you tremendously if you're in a time crunch, because if they're running a little late to get to that ceremony, you may not have 15 or 20 minutes to get ready, and you always want to make sure that your gear is ready to go at all times. Hey, this is Troy with Clark Bailey Studios, and I hope these 10 destination wedding photography tips have been helpful to you. I look forward to bringing you more content soon. Take care, be blessed, and have a terrific day.